Now, the fifth reason that I would like you to read the book of Job is because I think there are plenty of relationship being highlighted in the book. I think the first is the relationship between the Lord and Job, and we see his relationship with his children. And we also see his relationship with the wife that encouraged him to curse God, after all that calamity fell on him. And lastly, we see the relationship between his friends and him, and the trust that Job had in the Lord held him because he had a relationship with God and he trusted God. And we see him being, sort of being let down by his wife, I would say, also by his friends, because they came to sympathize or empathize with him, but would not, allow him to bear his, to just be there and commensurate with him, because we have several cases in their conversation where Job would say to them, if you don't have anything good to say, then let me not speak. I should find that verse and read it. So I'm reading from Job chapter 16, verse 1. I start from verse 1. It says, I have heard many such things. Miserable comforters, he was calling his friend. You all are, all three of them. Should words of wind have an end? And then somewhere he then said, I think it's in verse 5, it says, verse 4, it says, I also will speak as you do. In other words, he knows as much as they do. If your soul were in my soul's place, listen to this, I could heap up words against you and shake my hands at you, which is what they were doing actually, not in reality, but in their attitude. Now, hear what Job said. But I would strengthen you with my mouth, and the comfort of my lips would relieve your grief. They weren't doing that to him. They were bent on letting him see that he's guilty. He's not righteous. He must have done something bad. That's why that's happening to you. No, what do you call that word? Being no empathy on their part towards Job. And see that relationship, the experience that Job had was, brought out so many things I would say about the relationship with, number one, his wife. Of course, the children were no more. His relationship with God, God still maintained that is perfect, and his relationship with his friends, and so that is another reason why I would like you to read the book of Job, because you see a lot of it and the dynamics of the relationship there. And it just even reads like a good story. Forget about the fact that you're reading it as you're reading the Bible, but it's a good story to read.